This is Slasher at MLG Vegas 2016. I am here with Alex, otherwise known as Goldenboy, face of the nation. It's good Overwatch today, or not so good, depending on how much you love tanks. What are your, now the day is over, kind of also the results that I at least expected. What are your thoughts on first day?
I was a little disappointed with Rise, to be honest with you. I really wanted Rise to do well. I got a chance to speak to Faz, and I think Desro is like actually a really well-spoken guy. And while that doesn't necessarily translate to skill or whatever, but I just wanted like to see a squad like that do well. And I just that was like probably my one like sad moment. But for the Liquid FaZe match, I had FaZe going over on that one, although I do think Liquid's a great team, but I just think FaZe is FaZe, and when you have Shadowburn playing Genji, that's when you win. That's it, done. And then Cloud9 NRG, I mean, no offense to NRG, but I think writing was on the wall. Cloud9, I think they're on a warpath and actually have them going far, if not winning the tournament.
Yeah, so now looking at today's results, of course, Envious, which is probably my favorite to win the whole thing, did not play today due to Taimu coming in tomorrow. He's going to be very tired, also sick. I guess first, do you think that is going to influence their games against a very able Complexity team?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's never easy to travel to deal with that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I've personally dealt with visa issues in the past, and it is one of the most stressful things. So to actually deal with that as the individual that it's directly affecting, I can only imagine like the pressure, the hopelessness that he felt at some point in time, and I'm sure that he was very, very disappointed, sad, and it's just a range of emotions that like he went through all at once. So at that point, either he comes out with like a burning desire to succeed, or he just like fizzles out because honestly he's exhausted. Either way, I mean, like Envy, I still think they're a great team, and I still think they're going to go very far in the tournament as well. But there's like Cloud9 Envy are like my two teams. But yeah, I don't know. It's all pressure's all on Taimu now.
What were your favorite standout moments from today? Maybe we should also be looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, standout moments today. For one, I'm gonna say it again: Shadowburn on Genji. I like that.
It was good to watch on LAN, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic! But what I did enjoy about that is currently in the meta that we're sitting in right now, people think that you are very limited. But if you're good at something like skill, I would hope, like would trump over all of that, right? Like Genji for Shadowburn with Genji is a great combination. It is a recipe for success for this FaZe roster. Keep doing what you're doing. I know that the quadruple tank meta, the triple tank meta, whatever, like I know that is like the standout here, but just do what you want to do. And that's actually what I was talking with Stir about. It's like, if you're good at something, like commit to it. And that's something that I was disappointed with Rise. I really wanted to see them just throw something out there. And we started to see Retzi do that when he like jumped out and started to play more Tracer on I believe it was Nepal. And I was like, yeah, great. Even if you lost, like just the fact that you just tried something different and you didn't just try and play their game, because Fnatic like had their number like from the get-go. So they had to do something. Even if they lost, I just want to see something different. I'm glad we saw that today, too, with Torborn Symmetra. I'm really happy we saw that. And who knows, maybe more people take advantage of it and like, hey, maybe that is a good combination. 75 armor, 75 shield. That actually wouldn't be that bad if I'm not getting one shot all the time by Roadhog Hook. So I want to see something different, and I know that the viewers and the fans want that as well, and I think it's very important for Overwatch.
So, as a caster, also the background of shooting people, how has this whole 7-8 tanks a game thing been going for you as a caster and entertainment factor?
I think it is slow. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it wasn't slow, right? My background stems from Halo, Call of Duty, and those games typically are substantially faster. Time to kill in Call of Duty is, I mean, compared to Overwatch, like it's like a snap and you're done, right? So the battle's extending as far as they have been. I think for certain players, I'm a tank player myself, actually, main Reinhardt, and I'm a big fan of Reinhardt. But I can understand why people don't like it. The battles drag on; they go pretty slow, and sometimes as a caster as well. Especially when I don't have like a duo, right? I don't have like a guy that I cast with all the time, like Monty and Doa have like their thing, or ZP and Hexagrams. So like you have to actually like know like, okay, I have nothing left to add to this fight. I need to throw, and it's actually kind of a challenge to like determine when that is, especially when you have that chemistry with your co-caster. And this meta actually is like pretty punishing for that kind of stuff. So, it's difficult, but it's also challenging. And as a caster, you also do want the challenge so you can continue to get better. So, good and bad at the same time.
Goldenboy is Reinhardt. We all knew he couldn't aim with a mouse on PC. Heard it here first. Now, Goldenboy, you mentioned, of course, you come from Call of Duty and Halo, very long history in those two communities and the FPS console community. How has the transition been to now come to Overwatch, which is a shooting game, but is, pretty different than compared to what you're normally covering?
Well, in Call of Duty, I had the advantage of being a competitor, right? And being in the trenches with the players, knowing the players, the histories, the tendencies, all that stuff. I told you this before as well. Something I don't have in Overwatch, right? I never competed in TF2. I never competed in CSGO. I never competed in like any of these other games, Enemy Territory, Dirty Bomb, whatever. I never competed in these games. So because of that, I don't really have that connection to the history with a lot of the players. So for me, it's a brand new experience of like learning the people, and like it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. But I would say the difference between the two coming in is Overwatch, the community, this game has rapidly grown. Like it's exploded. So everyone is just their expectations are very high, and I am very critical of myself. And as you know, I'm always looking to critique and fix and improve whatever it is that I do. So Overwatch community is actually pretty good at doing that kind of stuff. A lot of these guys like know what they want to hear and what they want to see. So that's been fun. And that's actually something that, to be fair, Halo and COD didn't really have until recently, when like you really started to see the scene mature. Overwatch matured faster than any other game I'd ever been a part of. Just, I guess, because of the desire people had to like want to see this game blow up as the next big esport, or maybe it was just a matter of right place, right time. So I really don't know, but it's been a challenge, but it's a fun challenge, and I've really enjoyed it.
You think you'll be staying in Overwatch? Yeah. Not going back to chasing the dragon, Halo and Call of Duty? You sure?
Yeah, no, I Overwatch has been really attractive for me because, one, like I said before, I really enjoy challenging myself, right? And I love the universe of Overwatch. I think what Blizzard created from a story perspective is great. I dig it. Like, I'm all about that kind of stuff. Not many people know this, but I love the Halo campaign. Like that's like one of my favorite things, and the Halo universe is incredible. Reading the books, the comics, like watching the movies that they came out with, like so awesome. I love that stuff, and that's actually what I was really digging about Overwatch, when it hooked me on the game as well. So then, as I started doing that, I was also hooked by elements of the gameplay. At first, I didn't understand it, and it took me a little while to like wrap my head around it. Halo and COD are really straightforward. Find a guy, shoot the guy, get the kill, get the objective, score the objective. Really cut and dry stuff. Overwatch has layers, many layers, and I do my research, I study. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. last night watching IEM, like just taking notes and even listening to my peers and how they commentate, so I could tweak my style, thinking about how I was going to open up the show today and the questions I was going to ask. And there's just a million things you have to keep in mind here. There's 12 players, where in Halo I'm dealing with 8. It's a completely different thing, right? 8 players in Halo, all pretty much using the same guns. But yet in Overwatch, I have 12 guys using completely different heroes or completely different play styles and engaging in completely different ways. It's a beautiful challenge, and I think that is why Overwatch is so attractive to like people, and why they want this game to like just explode. So hopefully it does, but that's what I love about this game.
There's been a lot of other people, including like Matt, Mr. X, that have came from like the same Call of Duty, Halo community. It's a little bit surprising to me. I thought maybe with the resurgence, especially with Call of Duty and Halo kind of both at the same time, that maybe you guys would stick around and try to continue with that. But what is, have you surprised with other people also joining you in that same way?
Yeah, actually, a long time ago, right before the game released, I did talk with a couple folks at Blizzard, and they asked me if I was interested in casting Overwatch. And at that time, I was like neck deep in Halo World Championship. So my focus was very much on Halo. And I was like, yeah, I definitely would be interested. But, I'm doing this right now. Hopefully I'm going to be able to pivot, but I don't know when that time would be. And then after I did Halo World Championships, and I started to see like the talent pool in Halo really mature, and I think honestly it's the best group of guys that has ever been assembled for Halo right now. I thought to myself like, hey, I can continue doing my thing, or I can just seek out another challenge. And I may do a Halo event here and there this year, like leading up to World Championships. I don't know. Yeah, I still love the game. It's like one of my favorite games that I've ever played. So that is a very strong possibility. But I had thought about it quite a bit, and I said I want a new challenge, and I think a lot of other guys were looking at it the same way. Monty and Doa, Mr. X as well, even Anderson Semler when they dived into it.
Yeah, true.
They were very into it. They loved it. So I think it was one of those things where you look at it and you're like, hey, this is going to be a good challenge. Let me like see how far this goes. I think I've been doing okay. I don't think I've been doing great, and because of my mentality, I want to be great. So I'm going to keep working, and I may never get there, but that hopefully will strive for me to just continue to be better. So that was a challenge I saw with Overwatch. And with Halo, I could have done the same thing there as well, but I don't know, something about it just hooked me. And what's funny is it wasn't like money, or it wasn't like anyone like saying like, hey, you're going to become a superstar. Like, I actually wasn't it at all. I had never done a PC game before, which was another enticing thing for me. I'm never going to cast a MOBA. I'm never going to touch Counter-Strike. At least as a caster, I'm never going to do that. So, hey, why not like do this? And I'm getting a little bit older, so maybe it's time to like.
No. You're still in your early 20s.
No, I'm 29. So I'm gonna be 30 next year. So maybe I pivot out. I don't know, right? I just think I have something to do, and I want to make it happen. So we'll see what happens. But I'm digging it. Overwatch is fun. I love the game.
Well, it's good to have you, Alex, here in Overwatch. I've been a little bit outspoken against, against like many of the talent and casters.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about that, or maybe any other criticisms that you get coming from like a different community?
Well, you have been very, I'm not all that spineless. I'm just I'm just messing with you. No. Seriously, I think that there was an expectation, and this community, right? If you think about a lot of the players that came into Overwatch, they all came from like Team Fortress 2, right? A good portion of them.
The most of any other game that there was before, yeah.
And one of the things, and I'm trying to remember who it was I spoke to, one of the casters, they had said, well, they went from Team Fortress that had, minimal support. Like you had updates, you had some things here and there, but for the most part, the game was a game, and that was that, right? Where Overwatch is like constant updates, and whether it's good or bad, right? There's like constantly something to talk about and do. Like it always changes. We were like just 2 months ago we were doing the Beyblade strat. Now we're like all freaking quad tanks, and who knows? Maybe we see Symmetra Torbjorn become a thing, right? Like God willing, I'm sure you'd love that. So I just think that the community is like responding in a way of a game that's growing very fast, and everyone really wants to see it succeed, so they don't want to see things go wrong, to put it for lack of a better term. I mean, I'll address it perfectly fine. Everyone always, the big topic was map drafts. Who's talking about map drafts and all that? And I messaged you this on Discord. I hope you saw it. But I come from a background of preset maps, so for me, that's something I'm
sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you compete in COD or Halo, that's just how it was back then, right? So I'm very used to that. So I don't have a particular opinion on map drafts, but I support the player's perspective. So I'm not going to be fake and be like, yeah, man, map drafts, when I'm just like, well, this is my background, so this is like what I did, and I'm just going to put my hands up and just say, all right, I've been doing this for a couple years. If you want advice, I'll give you some advice, but if you don't want advice, I'll just shut the hell up. You know what I mean? And I'm completely down with that. So I think that's actually where a lot of that really stemmed from. And like I said, I'm very honest. Like I don't think that I'm trying to politic it, if you will, because I really don't I don't care. Like, if let's say someone from Blizzard watches it, like, I don't like that. Well, I can't help you, man. Like, that's just my perspective. So.
Man of the people. That's what I want to hear.
Maybe not. I don't know.
No, don't go back now. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah.
Alex, before I get you out of here, you got to pick winner for this weekend. You only get one team choice. You don't get to pick like these 3 or 4 teams that maybe could do it. Who's taking out MLG Vegas champion?
Cloud9. Not even doubting. I really like Envy, and OG and Apex was awesome, but I think this is Cloud9's tournament. Something just tells me in my bones. And plus, I love Mendo. Me and Mendo are best friends now. I don't know if you know, but
They haven't won a game in the playoffs at an Overwatch LAN tournament. You're picking them to not only do that, but getting their first title.
taking it. I'm committing. I'm believing, okay? And I don't need your doubting right now, okay? I don't need your negativity, Rod. I believe that Cloud9 will win. I think actually it's going to be, I think Cloud9, it's going to be a really tough final, but I think Cloud9 for sure.
Heard it here. I believe we can win the American Savior coming for Cloud9. This is Slasher at MLG Vegas 2016. Stay tuned to Yahoo Esports for coverage all weekend long.